when you looked at this match in years past and you just said San Diego versus Stanford, everybody would go, that's a mismatch. This is a mismatch no more. Tell us why.
Absolutely not. San Diego was barely edged out by Stanford as a top 4 seed, and I think because of that, you're going to see a San Diego team on a mission. They have a huge opportunity to prove they belong on this stage. However, Stanford is a team who is playing like they are ready to reclaim their rightful title. Thursday marked their 135th NCAA tournament win. That is more than any program in the country.
And for San Diego, by far their most talented, deepest team. They've always been a good program, but this team is really good, and we're going to see why right here.
Their offense is looking like a well-oiled machine. You start with Grace Froling. She's one of 2 elite right sides we'll see featured here tonight. And then along with her, Brianna Edwards is having herself a tournament, has led the Toreros in kills the last 2 matches. And finally, Katie Lukes. She is the centerpiece of this offense, and her play will be pivotal because of how important she handles out-of-system situations.
And we thought the match the other night in the regional semifinals against Kentucky, the co-champions of the SEC, was a pick'em. It was all San Diego. Gabby Blossom led the way. As a team, the Toreros hit 327 and dispatched Kentucky, a usually very, very good team. For Stanford, the unstoppable Kendall Kipp, and she gets a lot of help, but she is the main weapon for the 9-time champs.
Absolutely, Kendall Kipp has been the problem that no one can solve all tournament long. Her 4.5 kill per set average on the season is nearing a gaudy 6.5 kills per set in the tournament. Stopping her is probably not an option, but if anyone can slow her down, it may be this big physical block of San Diego.
As a team, Stanford's hitting 371, 4th straight match over 360, really hitting their stride thanks to the wonderful play at the setting position of Cammie Minor. And Kendall Kipp hit 472 the other night against a very game team from Houston. She's hitting 509 so far on the tournament. We're set to go. Stanford in their home white uniforms. USD has not lost since at Louisville back on September 2nd. Good block touch, good dig already by San Diego. And Grace Froling gets the Toreros on the board first.
Well, that's what we're talking about. The block touches, the deflections at the net, those plays that allow your defense to transition, and that's exactly what we got from Grace Froling, a really nice transition swing off the edge of the block.
Froling at 6'5", Katie Lukes at 6'2", Brianna Edwards at 6'3". Another block right on the sideline. That's by number 14, Edwards, the 6'3" graduate transfer from Rainier, Oregon, and came out of the Big Ten. She used to play for the Hoosiers of Indiana. There's Gabby Blossom, speaking of the Big Ten, played for legendary head coach Russ Rose at Penn State for 4 years. Baird again over the top. Nice dig by Lukes. You said the centerpiece, and that's exactly right. Stanford's got some answers too, however. 6'6" Sammy Francis back healthy and in the lineup for the Cardinal.
Certainly worth noting, the first time we saw Sammy Francis in this tournament, the first time we had seen her since October actually, was Thursday night against Houston. A little bit of a slow night for her, but I think it was really important for her to get on the floor and get her feet wet prior to this one.
Defensive specialist Kelly Bellardi, 5'9" freshman out of Manhattan Beach, on to serve. And Grace Froling, number 11 in blue, pokey through the hole in the block.
Up and over for Grace Froling, and of course that's nothing new. I tell you, Stanford sees that in their gym every day with Kendall Kipp, but today they've met their match on the floors. We're going to see several players who are hard to defend. They've got that ability to go up and over the block.
Froling hit 361 so far in the tournament, had 11 kills on 21 swings on Thursday evening against Kentucky. Baird getting a lot of early looks. Good cover by Minor. Over the top of the block, might have been out of bounds, but not sure about a touch. Maddie Allen in the backcourt, defensive specialist for San Diego, missed the stab.
And Paul, you touch on one of the early tendencies, or perhaps not tendencies, but strategies we're seeing from San Diego as they go after Katie Baird and serve receive. She's handling herself quite well. The Torero defense has just been a little better.
Froling with the rip, but beautifully dug in the backcourt. And Rubin again. Aaliyah Rubin, one of the top freshmen in the United States, back there. It's nice offense. Vicini out of the middle. took a couple of chances. McKenna Vicini, 6'2" redshirt junior out of Lexington, Kentucky with the kill.
And both of these offenses are going to be dominant from the pins. Their pins are going to get a majority of the looks, but you got to credit Cami Minor there, knowing when to go to Vicini in transition, finding kills in the middle. Love that.
Pac-12 Freshman of the Year last year, Pac-12 Setter of the Year this year. Nice touch by Vicini. Elena Ogilvie almost stretched out and got that ball back. Jen Petrie, for the 7th time, the West Coast Conference Coach of the Year in her 24th season. In her hometown, left San Diego to play at William & Mary, and now has been back in San Diego for soon to be a quarter of a century. Blossom with the first touch, and Katie Lukes is roofed. Lukes working against Baird, and that did not get by. There's Kevin Hambley in his 6th year as the head coach at Stanford, Pac-12 Coach of the Year, 2018-2019 national champion. Went out in the 2nd round last year, and because of COVID did not play in the 2020 season. Lost to Minnesota in the 2nd round last year on the road. 27-4 on the year. They've won 21 in a row. Shank pass.
Stoner just lost track of that one. Gabby Blossom immediately calling for help on the errant pass off of Katie Lukes, and Stoner didn't see it, didn't know where that ball was.
Lukes was absolutely excellent in reception the other night against Kentucky. That is a very rare miscue in that phase of the game for number 18 in blue. Coming at her again. Froling. Vicini's off to a really nice start, really bouncy in the middle for Stanford, number 14.
Yeah, she's doing a great job of closing early, giving herself time. She sees the set, chases, and look at the hang time. As you said, I like that bouncy on her way down. Taps that right back at San Diego.
We talked about the size of San Diego. The size of Stanford goes without saying. 6'6", 6'5", 6'3", 6'4". That's a really good swing. Grace Froling once again coming right back, averages 3 kills per set, hit 326 on the year, and for the 3rd time, first team all-conference.
Nice delivery from Gabby Blossom. She disguises that so well, sends it behind, and then the high, flat swing from Froling, really hard to defend.
Boy, we've seen a lot of wonderful play at the setting position throughout the course of this tournament. We've got 2 of the best here tonight. Ruben with a one-on-one rip.
It's the early balls to the middle to Vicini that set this up. So this is several plays in the making, and then you see Cami Minor float one past Vicini, and it's a one-on-one opportunity for the freshman, Elia Rubin, who capitalizes.
There's Ogilvie, libero. Outstanding passer out of Honolulu, and just a brilliant performer at the libero position. That ball missed out of bounds, unforced error by Haley Stoner.
But you see the ability of Gabby Blossom to create tempo. She takes that pass and just shoots it back to the right pin. A really fast, flat slide.
Ogilvie had 15 digs and 3 aces the other night against a very good team from Houston. Tough serve. Nice save, Missy.
I was trying to give her all the room I could. I thought she had a chance at it.
Me too. I made myself as small as possible. Nothing small about Stanford. Off to a quick start over San Diego. Stanford on a run at home, 8-2 over San Diego. Longest active win streaks in the country. Wisconsin may be in a little bit of jeopardy. Pitt Panthers doing a very nice job on the road in Madison. One of the things we talked to the Stanford coaching staff, particularly Kevin Hambley, about, he didn't think Kentucky did an effective job of putting a lot of service pressure on San Diego the other night. He said that was something that they were really going to focus on, and it's been to good effect. What does service pressure do to a team over time, and what is it doing right now to San Diego?
Initially, it pulls your setter off the net. When you pull that setter off the net, all of a sudden you're out of system. You reduce the number of options offensively. That's going to make it a lot easier for that big Stanford block. And right now, Ogilvie just doing a great job pressuring these San Diego passers. The lead for this one in Stanford has happened at the service line.
Mentioned setter of the year, player of the year, Ogilvie, the libero of the year in the Pac-12 conference. One-on-one. Gabby Blossom can get the job done at the offensive end, but a perfect pass.
You said it. That is the opposite of the setter being drawn off the net. That is a pass right into the hands of Gabby Blossom. And what a beautiful job she does of shooting it out to the left pin where they get a good one-on-one look.
Lukes was served 22 times the other night, was expert in receive, went along with 10 kills on 20 swings. Number 10, right back at you, Kendall Kipp, player of the year in the Pac-12 Conference.
Not enough on that serve from Lukes. That was too easy for Stanford.
Kevin Hambley telling us that even at 6'5", Kendall Kipp is the fastest athlete on this volleyball team. When they have races out on the track, she always wins. Edwards with a big swing. Brianna Edwards, 6'3" grad, mentioned out of Indiana, and she carries a huge load. Got off to a slow start the other night and really responded as the match went along.
Look at this, Katie Lukes. They continue to go after her. Stanford is determined to wear her down, making her pass all kinds of balls. That one up high and right back, and Gabby Blossom saves it.
That ball set way too far off the net, up into the block to reset. And the setter, number 2, Cami Miner, will take care of the rest. Not good ball control. Poor first contact and a poor set that time by number 9, Bennett.
And Cami Miner at 6 foot is really a smaller blocker on this Stanford team as their setter, but boy, is she physical.
Stanford trailed right to start this match, but they have, at the moment, taken control, already forced one timeout from San Diego, and now with another service winner, Missy lead at 13-7.
Stanford serving is elite right now, and interestingly, this is a team who missed 20 and 23 serves early in the year in matches against Florida and Nebraska, and yet they won those matches. And a lot of talk about too many missed serves, and Kevin Hambley said, I don't think so. He said, if you don't serve tough, no chance.
What a dig by Rubin in the middle back. Stanford is serving rockets right now, already with 3 aces. Lukes with a good response. That's away from one of the best liberos in the business in Ogilvie.
Speaking of rockets, it's one from Lukes right there, but how about the dig from Rubin? She's playing some really nice middle back and not letting anything fall. And then we talked coming into the match that Lukes would be so important because they'll go to her out of system, and that's a great example of that there.
Another relatively easy serve, and that ball ripped down the line. Sammy Francis, you mentioned it, she didn't play since October 23rd at USC. Out with an undisclosed, it wasn't an athletic injury, and is now back in the lineup. She had not practiced once, touched a volleyball since that time up until Wednesday. That was her first practice, shaking off some of the rust and doing it nicely. Better pass, better offense. That's the key. Nothing changes no matter what else does in the game of volleyball. Now 14-9. Nice response by Edwards with another kill.
Yeah, no surprise. Edwards continues to have the hot hand. She's had a fantastic tournament. Numbers better even than regular season.
And one of the key things for Stanford, you notice we haven't mentioned the name Annie Benbow at all. That she's the libero for San Diego, and Stanford is completely avoiding her. Very easy serve, can't do that. Right over the top of the block, Katie Baird, 6'3" redshirt junior out of Indianapolis.
Take a look across the front row right now, and you see Baird alongside her, Vicini and Kipp. They came into Stanford together as the #1 recruiting class in the country 4 years ago.
There is Miner again, Stanford leading at 15-9 for a spot in the national semifinals. Ball set a little bit tight, block deflection. Benbow with a touch.
Cami Miner playing some defense.
That is an absolutely beautiful set by Elena Ogilvie, the libero for Stanford in the all black.
And that's what you hope for when Cami Miner has to step in and make first contact. You want a libero with hands like this. Ogilvie hangs one right up there for Kipp. Another great look right at the line.
They're really avoiding Benbow. That ball passed right on top. Nice play by Blossom. Perfect pass by Katie Lukes, and the kill by number 7, Layla Blackwell, who transferred to San Diego, not this year, but last year, her second year there, also from Indiana.
This is trust in your setter right here, Layla Blackwell going with it, even though it's a one-hand save by Gabby Blossom.
Blackwell was 7 for 15 the other night. Stanford is just passing dimes right now. San Diego's going after Katie Baird to no effect right now. She's just been really good along with Rubin.
Yeah, continue to go at Katie Baird, and we'll see if they just work that and try to wear her down. Look at the Cami Minor set. We talked about Gabby Blossom creating tempo. These are two of the best setters in the entire country. And Cami Minor, that was an example of her creating that tempo as well.
17-10 is the lead. Again, keeping it on Lukes. Up ball just missed out of bounds. Good timing, good delivery, just not enough real estate right in front of you, Missy.
Yeah, I like Cami Minor coming off the net there as she comes away from her middle, still tries to force that tempo set.
Froling for San Diego. Look at Baird again, another perfect pass. Look out below.
Kendall Kipp, if you think you misheard, you did not. Nearly 6.5 kills per set in tournament play. Phenomenal.
Hitting 509, and I hope the crew is here from Sport Court. They're going to need to replace some of these tiles. What a beautiful play. Into the gap, little shoot set to number 18, Lukes, and Gabby Blossom with a perfect delivery.
Incredibly accurate, Gabby Blossom, as she's coming off of the net. They go to that gap set. It's a really fast set between the middle and the outside. Torero's doing everything they can to find some space between that big Stanford block.
Kylie Priest, 6'2" junior out of San Juan Capistrano. Wearing number 3 in blue on to serve. A little bit out of system, going to Rubin. San Diego with a chance in transition. That was a really good swing. Unfortunate for San Diego. That ball's got to come up.
Yeah, I love the fact that Edwards takes a big rip at this. That's what you have to do against Stanford. And San Diego defenders would love to have this one back. As you said, that play needs to come up, and typically for the Toreros, it would.
It would. Priest just a little unlucky in her positioning.
Yep.
Look at that set. That's a good cover by Benbow. And Edwards is able to thump that ball. It's a heavy ball, as does Lukes, to get that ball through.
Edwards not backing down. No tip here. Edwards keeps blasting at that block and is able to find a little crease there between Minor and Sammy Francis.
It's interesting about Stanford. They come in with another wonderful record, 27-4, 19-1 as the Pac-12 champions. But they took some lumps early. We'll talk more about that as this match unwinds. They played a pretty tough schedule, mind you.
One of the toughest.
As did San Diego. That ball missed out of bounds. Coming on to serve for San Diego is Alex Hoagland, backup setter, Berkeley, California. There was a touch detected there, so it will be Stanford's ball. Mentioned Stanford, they lost to Texas here, lost to Penn State in Minneapolis, lost to Louisville on this floor. Very, very close matches indeed, and then were swept by Oregon up in Eugene. And Kevin Hambley talked about the early season. He said in the spring we were learning what system we wanted to play. Now we're learning how to win matches, and it's been working pretty well lately.
Yeah, he said the growth of this team has really come in their ability to compete, their competitive maturity over the course of the season, and a preseason schedule like that will teach you how to compete real quick.
Another wonderful swing by Lukes, 429. So efficiency 407. Stanford is looking to get to the national semifinals for the 24th time. Gabby Blossom and San Diego are hoping for their first. They got to get off Baird. She's passing perfectly. Good read by Blossom. Legally off the scoreboard. Good play by Kipp to dive in for first contact. That was really good read by number 10 in white for Stanford.
Sammy Francis, who played for the first time in the tournament on Thursday, hit negative 111. We saw them with a light workout yesterday, but a few extra swings for Francis, and she seems to have found her rhythm.
Timeout is called by San Diego. Stanford, the number 1 seed. San Diego, a number 2 seed. Using their second timeout. Tomorrow, ESPN NHL Matinee features Cale McCarr and the reigning Stanley Cup champion Avalanche in St. Louis to take on Ryan O'Reilly and the Blues. Our coverage begins at 3 Eastern time. Right after Louisville, Kentucky women's basketball game. Back with Missy Whittemore. I'm Paul Sunderland. San Diego 30-1, 18-0, perfect in conference. Gave you Stanford's record. And just you're talking about Sammy Francis. Jen Petrie knows Sammy Francis very well. Coach Petrie's daughter, who is playing at Boston College and played earlier today, and Sammy Francis were in the same club in San Diego, has seen her an awful lot.
Yeah, Coach Petrie had a busy day trying to catch Boston College early as they were in the semifinals of the NIVC, and congratulations to them. They did walk away winners. So already a good day for the Petrie family, and they hope to continue it here.
Gave you Stanford's resume. 17 times they've been to the national championship match, including the 23 semifinal appearances. For San Diego, what a record they have had. 30-1 as mentioned. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Ohio State. Their only loss was at Louisville. That was back on September 2nd.
They lost at Louisville. Stanford lost to Louisville at home. There's your common opponent. And as we know, Louisville, one of those teams who's already punched their ticket to Omaha in a very exciting match earlier today against Pac-12 opponent Oregon.
Comparison between two All-American setters. Gabby Blossom in her 5th year. Cammie Minor is going to play in the Olympics one day. Make no mistake about it. She is just a very, very gifted player. Kevin Hambley. Everybody feels this way about their players, but Kevin Hambley said, I would not even think about trading my libero, or my setter for anybody in the country.
And those are the building blocks of a program.
That ball misplayed out of the backcourt by Taylor Bevan. That's a break for San Diego, but still trailing 21-15. There was a lot of discussion as to who would get the last #1 seed. Would it be the Stanford Cardinal or the San Diego Toreros? Overall, of the 64 teams, San Diego is the overall #5 seed. Stanford is the overall #4 seed. #1 overall seed in the tournament was Texas. Wisconsin was 2.
And the representative from the committee just stated that Stanford had 3 more top 25 wins than San Diego, and that seemed to be the deciding factor.
Well, San Diego couldn't get any more because they don't have top 25 teams in their conference.
Absolutely.
Nice rip by Froling. Grace Froling, #11 in blue.
However, in the West Coast Conference, we did see 3 other teams aside from San Diego as we take another look at this one. Really nice defensive play. And then the finish as she thumbed down the line there by Froling is really nice. But 3 other teams from the West Coast Conference in the tournament, BYU, LMU, and Pepperdine. And the Toreros had to go on the road at the end of their season and defeat all 3 of those teams.
1-5 at LMU. Pepperdine was on the skid a little bit. They lost one of their best players midway through the season, and they won at BYU. I did that match against the Cougars, and playing up in Provo, you win there, that's a quality win. Tough serve. I'll look at the stats, but that might be the first serve reception for Benbow. They've really been avoiding her. That ball set way too tight, but not too high for Kendall Kipp. Slam dink right over the top of the block.
No defense for that jam move. Up and over the block. This is nearly impossible to defend. And as you said, it looks like trouble, but not if you're Kendall Kipp.
Number 10 in white is a world-class athlete, make no mistake, and showed it there again. Kipp now with 4 kills on 6 swings. Stanford hitting .400. San Diego's gotten better. Going to Benbow again, perfect pass. Nice dig by Minor. Lukes through a seam in the block and down. That was an absolutely composed, brilliant underhand set by Gabby Blossom.
You are so right. The way Gabby Blossom took her time and hung not just a hittable ball up there, but that's a killable ball for Lukes. Really high quality second contact by Gabby Blossom.
Lukes and Froling are right there. They've combined for 9 kills on 18 swings. San Diego up to 281, which is approaching their season average.
Unfortunately, Stanford 400, even better than their season average right now.
Well, they've been hitting 370 in the tournament.
So yeah, maybe that is their season average, huh?
Off the block and out of bounds. Kendall Kipp very good in row 1, rotation 1, where the opposite Kipp, the one time she hits on the left side. Set points now for the top seed in the Stanford region. The Cardinal, 9 times a national champion, most recently 18 and 19. Froling over the top of the block and off Minor.
And credit to Katie Lukes, because Stanford has not come off of her, and her passing has improved over the course of this first set.
Set point number 2. Kip will hit on the right side. Rubin out on the left. That ball hit the antenna. That ball was out of bounds. It was going so fast I couldn't see it, but then the antenna, I'm surprised it didn't break. Set point number 3. Another look. Yep, good work by the lineswoman. Yep. Good pass off a very tough serve, and that ball's down. McKenna Vicini out of Lexington, Kentucky, adding a little more offense to the mix. And a good crowd here at Maples Pavilion enjoys the Stanford Cardinal as they take the opening set 25-19 over San Diego. Fun day is winding down. It was certainly fun for the Louisville Cardinals as they advanced to back-to-back national semifinals. Over on ESPNU, Wisconsin trailing Pitt 2-1, but up 19-14 in the fourth. Texas very, very impressive. Much improved ball control and setting. And Asia O'Neal just lit it up blocking, and Stanford has the better of it in the opening set 25-19 over San Diego, and the numbers don't lie. Kendall Kipp lighting it up once again here at home.
Yeah, you see 5 kills already in that first set. Again, better than her season average of 4.5, which is ridiculous to begin with. And here in the tournament, she is just lighting it up.
Stanford hit 394 in the opening set. San Diego hit 303 after a relatively slow start. But what about the passing story and the serving story, where teams are going after the opponent?
Well, pretty interesting. We touched on it early. Katie Lukes of San Diego has passed 11 balls in serve receive. Stanford just going at her, and the same can be said of Katie Baird of Stanford. So those two carrying a heavy load, and that was a part of the story early for San Diego. Didn't handle serve well. Stanford has been very aggressive from the service line.
Wonderful pass, nice play on the slide. Layla Blackwell with the kill.
Good pass, good outcome. Funny how that works.
Overpass, Froling. I think a good decision. And a better one as that turns out. Again, Blackwell with back-to-back kills.
Overpass by Baird there, and as we mentioned, that is the player that San Diego is targeting, and particularly in this rotation with her in the front row, they're going to go at her.
Gabby Blossom wearing her at least relatively new lucky knee pads. Back to serve once again. San Diego got off to a good start in the opening set. Well, sometimes when the ball's right on top of your head,
yeah.
Everybody used to yell, up, okay, up. You know, it was a really good movie too, but doesn't necessarily work very well.
Yeah, San Diego did the hard part there. They slowed down Kendall Kipp. That's what we said no one has been able to do, but then they can't find the ball off the deflection. That's a tough one.
Velarde on to serve, high school national champion. Tough swing. Froling going over the top, nicely done. Rubin out of the back row. Block touches for San Diego, good quality. Froling able to somehow sneak that ball down inside. Grace Froling at 6'5", wonderful arm swing. Has a year possibly to come back if she wanted, but she's already decided that she's going to turn pro.
Well, we talk about her length and her size, but her athleticism. She has the athleticism to go along with it, and you saw that there. You said somehow she got around that block. It was her footwork, her close step to the ball, as she's able to stay in rhythm with that.
Maddie Allen, defensive specialist on. Right now, San Diego out-digging Stanford 13-9. Tight pass, just coming, and Cami Minor wins it.
And you see Katie Baird going right to Cami Minor with a thank you, as a little trouble passing there in that rotation, and Cami Minor saves her.
I asked head coach Kevin Hambly what he liked about Cami Minor, and he said, how much time do you have? How long are you staying? Tremendous talent, and he said what separates her, she comes in the gym every day looking to be the absolute very best, whether it's setting the ball, running the offense, having chemistry with your hitters or at the service line. She is the absolute complete package. Number 2 in white out of Redondo Beach, and only a sophomore. 4th ace for Stanford.
Well, Bimbo passed that last ball, but really I think it was served at Katie Lukes, and that's why it was such a hard pass for Bimbo. She's trying to take up more space.
Gabby Blossom, another perfect delivery to Froling.
I don't know how best to describe her delivery other than that she is so still as she releases the ball. You just can't tell where she's going to go with it as a middle blocker. She leaves you chasing a lot of balls.
Good read by Ogilvie. Rhythm to the outside off the top of the tape, and it did not get a piece of the block. It got a piece of the antenna, and a missed opportunity after a really good read on the roll shot by Benbow, the libero for San Diego.
San Diego trying to go really fast and flat to that left pin.
Lukes has been good, 5 of 9. Both teams very, very physical, athletic, talented, long. Good block. Number 13 in white, just a freshman.
Luke seems to have really found a passing rhythm. This is a nice ball to Gabby Blossom. She's got 3 options. Chooses to go with Froling, and unfortunately, we've said before, that'll go down as a hitting error when really it feels like an even better block by Ruben.
Really good block. We got to come up with a different formula. Have a hitting error, won't be only when you hit the ball out of bounds. Ruben, who just stuffed that ball, still playing with a very sore left pinky. Broke her left little finger. She said, I talked to her about it yesterday, said really a bad blocking move. I reached out, and this hitter for Utah, who really's got a gun, just about ripped my finger off. So it's heavily taped, but she's feeling better.
Double contact called on Gabby Blossom there as she tries to set that ball with her hands going to the floor.
5-1 run now for Baird and Stanford. That ball's legal. Ogilvie didn't mean to dig it with her size 8.5, but that ball was up off the floor. Another really good swing by Lukes.
Lukes just absolutely unloads on this, and she's able to because the middle block can't close. Again, the speed that the Toreros are playing with at the left pin, they are going very fast to the left pin, trying to beat this Stanford block.
That ball just drifts over the end line. Grace Froling. Boy, I don't mind that miss whatsoever if I'm Jen Petrie or Alfie Ref, a fine assistant coach. Aggressive serve, just drifted a little bit long. Here's Ogilvie again, Stanford leading by 2. Lukes is roofed.
And when you go that fast to the left pin, when there's a hole in that block, there's a lot of opportunity. But that time when you've got 2 blockers waiting on you, and they happen to be Sammy Francis and Kendall Kipp, there is nowhere to go.
Luke's taking a big risk going low seam and paying the price. Froling out of the back row, and another block by Francis. Sammy Francis, 6'6" sophomore, as mentioned, from San Diego, all Pac-12 freshman team last year. This year averaging 1.5 blocks per set. That's what Stanford was losing in her absence. Fifth set in Madison between the Pitt Panthers and the Wisconsin Badgers. Good serve. Ace number 5 for Stanford. Wisconsin trying to get to the national semifinals for the 6th time.
Ogilvie straight down the line, forcing Lukes to move to her left, and that ball has some nice drive on it.
Stanford leading 1-0 and doubling up on the Toreros right now in the second. Coverage of the Division I Women's Volleyball Championship continues Thursday with the national semifinal matches starting at 7 Eastern Time on ESPN. For more information on match times and listings, visit NCAA.com, home for all 90 NCAA champions. Back with Missy Whittemore. I'm Paul Sunderland. A look from behind, see what kind of challenge Ogilvie, the libero, after the ace dials up and keeping it on Katie Lukes. She is indeed the target. Look at that perfect dig. Bennett for San Diego, and then Katie Lukes. She went a little bit higher seam, didn't challenge low, and squeezed it through Francis and Kendall Kipp.
That was a bit of a scary look. I didn't know if there was room there, and I could tell she was going to go with a big rip, but just enough space. She squeezes it through.
Lukes likes to go fast, and it requires Gabby Blossom to go with different paces. Nice pass by Rubin. And a block. Brianna Edwards working on Kendall Kipp.
Great close there by Stoner, and Edwards does a nice job lining up on Kendall Kipp there.
Yeah, the matchup physically, in terms of length and athleticism, is very, very close indeed. What a good delivery and a better dig. Benbow right there, the all-time dig leader at San Diego. Free ball. This should be 90%, and it is.
Back to the Benbow dig, though. That was a huge hole in the San Diego block, and you need elite defenders to step in and win that, and that's what Benbow did. It comes down to the free ball at the end. Stoner, great execution.
Stoner's first kill. She was really good the other night, very active against Kentucky. Edwards again inside. Look at the dig by Ogilvy. Makes the game look easy. Good high swing, recycle, restart the point, out of the back row. Perfect set by Ogilvy to Kendall Kipp. Off the edge of the block. And down, it's called in. We might have a challenge. Kevin Hambley was asking his subs, who are looking right down the line, was that in or out? And I don't see any activity as far as a challenge is concerned. Boy, deja vu all over again. Both of the sets started 3-1 San Diego, then Stanford went on identical 9-2 runs. But other than, like in the first set, when Stanford sort of put it away, San Diego now has responded with a 4-0 run of their own to get back within one.
That rally had everything. Elite defense from both of our liberos. Also, great second contact from both of those players as well. Stepping in, hanging high balls. And there is the final block by San Diego. Yeah, that ball is inbounds. It was a huge rip by Kendall Kipp. And when you hit it that hard, it comes back at you pretty fast.
Kendall Kipp has been blocked twice right now in this last little stretch. So that's got to give San Diego a lot of confidence. What a women's basketball doubleheader we have for you tomorrow afternoon. It's Louisville versus Kentucky in our first matchup at 1 Eastern time on ESPN, and then 3 over on ABC. UConn, they've had some injury issues. They're currently ranked number 6. They take on Diamond Miller. And the Terrapins coming in at number 20 from Maryland. Should be another great afternoon of hoops. Talked about Gabby Blossom. These are her game knee pads that she's wearing today, but yesterday at practice, San Diego's not hurting for equipment. This is all just superstition and for good luck. Those are her practice knee pads, and the game knee pads that she wore back on September 2nd in Louisville are in a landfill somewhere. They didn't make the trip home.
I'm glad she's gone to some secondary protection on that left leg, because there's not a lot left of the knee pad.
Serve was very easy coming out of the timeout, and San Diego paid the price. Rubin with a very, very deft touch over the top.
You see that often. Out of the timeout, players feel pressure to put the ball in bounds, and that serve just not enough on it.
Unless you play for the Stanford Cardinal.
That's right.
I'll say that quote again. That ball off the edge of the block and out of bounds. A very interesting quote from Kevin Hambley, the fine head coach for Stanford. There is no relationship between missed serves and winning and losing. The statistics and the algorithm bear it out.
He felt like they did not serve tough enough against Louisville because they were so concerned with all the noise about the missed serves they had in some previous matches. And he said that was a big part of that loss, was our serving. He said we served like pansies. I don't know, I'm starting to believe him. I don't know, maybe there's not a correlation between serving poorly and losing, but there's definitely one between serving well and winning. I'll tell you that.
100%, great call. Big block, free ball. Oh, I thought San Diego was going to have to play the ball again. Let's look at the blocking numbers. Stanford has 7, and now San Diego has 5.
Early on, we saw San Diego getting some deflections, some touches, but now, here in the second set, that big physical block of San Diego started to score some points.
That was Blackwell, number 7 at 6'4", on the overpass. Edwards calling for it. Another very comfortable dig. Francis hammers the ball down inside.
San Diego had a free ball opportunity in that rally. They went to a really quick tempo one set to the middle there in transition. Couldn't get it to fall.
There's Aaliyah Rubin, California Gatorade Player of the Year last year, which is saying an awful lot. Wonderful offense. Right back at you, Blackwell again, and Gabby Blossom. I agree with you, Missy, and you're a wonderful setter during your time at Florida. She is so erect and so neutral. It's really, really hard to she never tips her hand to guess where she's setting.
And she doesn't lose accuracy with her deception. That's what's so impressive. Her ball is still incredibly accurate.
Kip out of the back row. Timed at 13.
This is a thing of beauty, the back row attack of Kendall Kip. Look at her load and unleash. What a weapon she is.
Like we said right before first serve in years past, this would look and feel like a mismatch, and probably would be. Well, it is no more. Oh, that ball's, yeah, it can't be saved. When the ball is passed to the left front, that's usually death.
Setter has a really hard time coming from the right side to make a play on that second ball, and there has to be some communication and a quicker move by that player in left front, but that player's thinking offense. They're backing off the net there.
6 aces for Stanford, no errors. Velarde again. Nice tap down.
Coach Handley said of Stanford, this is a team with very well-defined roles. Velarde comes in as a serving specialist, and she's really good at her role, I have to say.
This is the kind of match we expected. Number 19, Maddie Allen, 5'8" junior out of Temecula, California. 6th tie so far in this second set. Stanford won the first 25-19. Ace serve! First so far for the Toreros.
Toreros raising their level of play from the service line, trying to flip the script and put a little more pressure on the Stanford passers. Driving serve into the corner, really nice.
33rd ace on the year for Allen. Vicini, unforced error there. McKenna Vicini had a very nice opening set offensively, and San Diego goes back on top 16-14. What's been the difference here in the second set, both for Stanford and for San Diego?
I think with Stanford's improved serving, now their block has a chance, and their block has made an impact on the match, and a few errors here by Stanford, and all of a sudden San Diego's on top.
Out of system again, going to Kip, tip into the open area, really smart shot. 3 blockers up, and the wing is often wide open.
Yeah, seeing the defense, getting help from Grace Froling, actually from all blockers, all 3 up. So you know that those short corners are going to be available, and Kip nails it.
And Gabby Blossom is a really determined and excellent defender and couldn't get to that shot. Luke's going fast again. Ogilvie with a stab. Watch Ogilvie, it's just like another day at the office. She's so calm.
Not a lot of movement from Ogilvie. That's what makes her such a good defender. She's just really in control.
Kip again. Good dig, chance for San Diego in transition.
This is great transition play by Layla Blackwell. Has to make the move to her left, working so hard defensively, and then she comes off the net, and she is calling for the ball. She charges at Gabby Blossom for that attack.
Blackwell now with 7 kills on 10 swings. No errors, hitting 700. Kip over to the left side, off the top of the block and down. Kendall Kip now with her 9th kill. But percentage-wise, she's hitting .509 on the tournament. San Diego holding, I think, the best opposite in the country, to 250 right now.
They got to feel pretty good about that.
think I hit 509 in warm-up. She said 509 against some pretty
good. With an empty net?
Yeah.
I had trouble doing that.
Nice play. What a quality shot. Even Elena Ogilvie could not get to that one. The shot quality was so good by number 11, Froling.
We've got two elite opposite attackers in this match tonight. What fun. Kendall Kipp, Grace Froling. Incredible.
I misread Kipp's numbers after that last kill. Overpass, straight down to the floor. San Diego, the Toreros with some real momentum here in the second set, forcing Stanford to call a timeout. We'll step aside. The Torero fans out in force, and man, do they have a good team. Both of these teams do have stars, and they also have lots of balance. Froling, Lukes, Blackwell, Edwards. That's a really good sign for the San Diego Toreros.
Coach Petrie said, we are hard to scout, hard to defend. And you see right there, not bad numbers from San Diego really in the first set. Stanford was just elite at 394. San Diego turns it up just a little bit more in the second set. And now they've got Stanford thinking a little for the first time in this match.
It was 10-5 Stanford. Since that time, Grace Froling and the Toreros have outscored the Stanford Cardinal 14-6. Coming out of the timeout. That's by Kendall Kipp off the block and out of bounds. I said 250. I misread Kendall Kipp's number. She's now just a little bit under 300. It'll update. Oh, she's only hitting 333 now.
She climbed out of that hole pretty quickly.
Wisconsin was trailing 7-3 in Madison in the fifth set. This has been a good rotation. Ogilvie serving and working on Lukes. Perfect pass. And that ball tucked down inside Francis. Katie Lukes is facing a lot of service pressure. They're just serving her almost every time, and now she's in a good rhythm.
And I just can't say enough good things about her response, because she was not passing her best early in this match, and yet she did not get flustered. Boy, she just stayed with it, and now all of a sudden she's handling these balls with ease.
Froling with 9 kills, Lukes after that with 8, but more importantly, good passes. Here is Priest on to serve. San Diego leading by 3. Kipp again. Seam in the block after a perfect pass by Rubin.
A couple perfect passes now by Rubin as she passes here straight down the line. And boy, she's been really, really effective as a passer. In fact, I'd be surprised if we see San Diego serve at her much more in this second set.
Edwards somehow finds a small seam in the block, and they get Kendall Kipp, who Kevin Handley told us yesterday was Stanford's best server among a group of really good servers. They get her off the line.
You know, Coach Petrie said this could come down to which team is brave and out of system, willing to take big swings, and that's what we just saw from Edwards, a very brave swing in an out of system situation.
Really good passing again, leading to a back row pick by Kendall Kipp, but Aaliyah Rubin, who's going back to serve now, has been under pressure from San Diego and certainly up to the task.
A freshman, Rubin, playing in high school just a season ago, and boy, does she play with composure.
Well, she was voted the best high school player in a very big state.
Yes.
The best of the best, that ball out of bounds. Interesting about San Diego, even though they've had such a marvelous season, they said, look, against Stanford, nobody believes in us but us. This is a very confident team, and you're seeing exactly why they deserve to come out on the court and play with one of the country's best, now toe-to-toe in the second set.
They've adopted the mantra, why not us? And they're feeling it, they're confident, and they have every reason to be.
Out of system, and Baird has been struggling. Smart shot. Right into the middle of the defense, into the campfire, and nobody wants to go there.
When you can play at that height above the net that you see from Baird and Kipp, there are shots that they are capable of that others just can't make.
San Diego's doing a good job against the outsides. Baird and Rubin are just a combined 7 for 26. Velarde, easy serve. One-on-one, and Edwards has got a rocket.
Edwards continuing to shine under the lights. Saved her best for the postseason, that's for sure. Edwards now with 6 kills.
We've seen really, really good setting all day long. We're seeing really, really good setting tonight in Stanford. Easy serve, too easy. Good block. Froling at 6'5", closing the seam. Set points now for San Diego. Baird is struggling offensively. Just 4 kills on 16 swings, make it 17. Kip, what a good shot off speed. The total package offensively for number 10 in white.
So smart. You know, she has every shot. She has the power, but boy, she sees the court, uses the entire court.
Set point number 2. Tough swing for Lukes. Perfect transition set to Baird. Good block touch. Where does Blossom go? Quickly to the outside. What else have you got? Ogilvie with a dig. San Diego. What a dig by Elena Ogilvie. Just makes the game. She is so soft in all of her movements. I mean, look, we've seen really good play all day at all the positions, but Ogilvie is maybe in a class by herself this year.
And if you're San Diego, you have to call the timeout there, but boy, you don't want to change much. That was fantastic volleyball on both sides of the net. I mean, it took elite plays to end that rally. Both teams playing at such a high level.
Another look at the dig. Elena Ogilvie out of Hawaii. Just what a good read. She's in the perfect spot.
And the setting on both sides of the net in that rally, giving their hitters those looks. It just, you know, it takes defenders like Ogilvie and Bimbo just stepping in and playing balls up, not just up, but with control. I think that's the difference in this match, is we've seen Bimbo and Ogilvie play balls up with control, that they can actually transition. It's been phenomenal.
Third set point for San Diego. Where do you go if you're Gabby Blossom, if you're in system?
You know, I like Froling here if you're in system, and I'm taking a look at how they line up, coming out and serve, receive, but I really like Froling here.
You know, philosophically, you know Cami Minor's not going to come out of the timeout and throw over some little lollipop. She's going to serve hard.
Right.
That's just how they roll. Third set point. Stanford up 1-0. Perfect pass. And inside of Vicini. What a play by Katie Lukes under pressure, because that was a really tough serve.
And Gabby Blossom goes to the middle, guaranteeing her attacker a one-on-one opportunity.
We told you this was no stinking rematch. We've got ourselves a battle. Stanford and San Diego tied at a set apiece. Welcome back live to Stanford. 2 spots still remaining, although one is winding down in Madison. We'll update you there. And we've got a real battle going on here at Maples Pavilion. San Diego and Stanford tied at a set apiece. Louisville has moved on, as have the Texas Longhorns. Pitt trailed 7-2 in the 5th set. They now lead 12-11. 12-all now, thank you very much. Pitt and Wisconsin tied at 12-all in the 5th set on ESPNU. Back with Missy Whittemore, I'm Paul Sunderland. What an opening couple of sets. Stanford was Stanford was Stanford in the opening set, but you know what? San Diego was San Diego in the second. That was the difference. We said that this was no longer a mismatch, that San Diego was that good. They really do believe in themselves, and it showed.
Yeah, and other people are going to believe in them after that second set. Stanford sides out only 58% in set 2, and that had a lot to do with the fact that San Diego came back and matched what Stanford was doing from the service line.
Katie Lukes for San Diego was brilliant in the regional semifinal in Kentucky and has kept that level very high. She does so much for this Torero team.
You're right. We're going to see the 8 kills here, the fact that she's hitting 278, but she does do so much. Really, what she's done for San Diego in this one is passed a whole lot of balls. Stanford has gone after her, and after a shaky start, she has righted the ship. Of course, for Stanford, Kendall Kipp, we said 5 kills after set 1. Guess what? 9 kills in set 2 alone, and still San Diego finds a way to win that one. It says a lot about that San Diego block and the deflections that they were able to create. But Kendall Kipp hitting 435 in this match.
But Kendall Kipp needs some help. This Stanford team is superbly talented and balanced, but Katie Baird is 4 of 17, and Aaliyah Rubin is 3 of 11, both of them hitting 182 and 118 respectively. Kipp needs some help because this San Diego team is the real deal, as we have said many times. I thought they should have gotten the #1 seed. I thought they should have been. If you just took the names off the pages and you look at just the resume, I thought that they had done everything they possibly could. The committee thought otherwise, and here we are matched up. But I thought San Diego had earned the right to play a match like this on their home floor.
And it's such a well-balanced offense. That's what makes San Diego dangerous. I totally agree with your point that Kendall Kipp needs some help. As we've watched the matches throughout the day, I think the one thing you can take away from it is you can't win these matches today with one attacker. It takes secondary offense. It takes a third attacker. It takes a team effort.
San Diego 30-1 on the year. Their only loss back on September 2nd at Louisville. 18-0 in conference. Just a tremendous, tremendous season. And under Jen Petrie in her 24th year, San Diego has been a good volleyball program for a long time. But it took a while to get it out of Coach Petrie, but she said, yeah, okay. No disrespect to anybody else, but this is by far our best team. Lukes looking to go fast. Man, she hits the ball hard. San Diego starting to get to Kipp a little bit. And Grace Froling off the right side.
Gabby Blossom nearly in left back. It falls to the floor after she makes second contact. But what is so amazing about Gabby Blossom is that no matter where she is, the ball is hittable. It is such a beautiful second contact.
It's the knee pads. Can't pass here. Give you some important numbers from that second set after this point. What a good adjustment. Did you see that last little move by Blackwell? Away from Gabby Blossom to create some space. Beautiful play by #7 in blue.
As Gabby Blossom is coming off the net, she gives herself some space so they've got a better angle to connect there. Free ball, gotta have it, and Gabby Blossom finds her middle.
Did you see that little drift?
Yep.
Just that little drift to the left. Pitt Panthers have a match point at Wisconsin. Baird looking for high hands and got a touch. A touch off the top of the block. Nice swing by Katie Baird.
I think there's a chance we could get a challenge card here. Oh no, Grace Froling owns up to it. She tells Coach Petrie, save the green card, Coach. I actually did get a piece of that one.
And congratulations to the Pitt Panthers, who have defeated Wisconsin in Madison 15-13 in the 5th. They'll be in the national semifinals for the 2nd straight year. Grace Froling again, 12 kills on 23 swings.
Gabby Blossom to the floor again with a sensational set.
Stanford won the opening set kind of comfortably, 25-19, and there was nothing comfortable about it at all for Stanford in the second, as San Diego evened it 25-22. Welcome those of you who are watching the Pitt Panthers survive and advance over the Wisconsin Badgers in Madison, 3-2. We're live at Stanford, and what a match we've got going on for you here to close out a spectacular day. I'm Paul Sunderland, joined by former Florida star Missy Whittemore. Stanford won the opening set 25-19, and then San Diego, behind Grace Froling among others, came right back to take the second 25-22. Down the line, Cami Minor just about saved a trip to the doctor. That was down the line, Katie Lukes with her 10th kill.
The balance we're getting right now from Gabby Blossom and the Toreros is really what makes this San Diego team so hard to defend. You've got Grace Froling, 12 kills, Blackwell, 9, Katie Lukes, 9, Edwards, 6. Blossom spreading it around.
Kendall Kipp is roofed. San Diego's size is starting to get to the best opposite in the land, number 10 in white. Still having a spectacular match, but now they blocked her 3 times as San Diego.
And this is Lukes alongside Stoner, who might be the smaller blocking combination that you're going to see from the Toreros there at the left pin, but really well played.
Lukes going high flat, Ogilvy. Brilliant libero for Stanford in the all-black with another dig. On the slide, a block right back at you. Vicini along with Rubin. Some numbers from the second set. Stanford only sided out at 58%, San Diego at 65%, down from 80% from Kevin Hambley's Cardinal squad. Coach Hambley now in his 6th year, the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Jen Petrie, his counterpart, in her 24th year in San Diego. For the 7th time, she was the WCC Conference Coach of the Year.
I felt like the story of set 1 was the serving of Stanford. They put so much pressure on San Diego, but in set 2, San Diego matched that, and it allowed their block to be more successful. Speaking of blocks.
Ouch. Kendall Kipp is a world-class athlete, as we have mentioned, 6'5", the fastest member of this Cardinal volleyball team, and gets way over the net for the roof on Lukes. Edwards on the pipe. Ogilvy was there, but a net violation called against the Stanford Cardinal. They were 27-4 on the year. Did suffer some early losses to Texas on this floor, to Louisville on this floor. They lost their only conference match at Oregon, and everybody has seen in this tournament how absolutely wonderful a team the Oregon Ducks are. Deep serve. Another block deflection, but number 9, Bennett, not able to come up with it for the Toreros.
Nice job there by Rubin, turning that ball down the line. She knows she's got Gabby Blossom blocking up there in right front, takes advantage of that. However, you said the deflection, it's happening time and time again for San Diego.
Right now, San Diego is out-hitting Kendall Kipp and Stanford on the match. They're both putting up excellent numbers, but San Diego's are better. Center line violation, that's called against Stoner. Before that play, San Diego was hitting 333 to Stanford's 295. Nobody would have predicted that. No. 4-1 run now. Good pass. That was a tough serve by Kendall Kipp. Edwards in transition, cutting inside. Away from Rubin. That was a beautiful shot by 14 in blue.
Edwards is going to have 8 kills now on the day. And the Toreros continue to be so aggressive. You know, that's a really nice in-system look, but even out of system, the Toreros are swinging away.
Another good block touch, but not going to be able to be saved. San Diego is doing a really good job getting in front of all of the hitters, including Kendall Kipp.
Yeah, and that first touch by San Diego, that was nearly a diving save to keep that ball in play, was from their middle blocker who was serving.
That's what's different about this San Diego team, as mentioned, and it's not hyperbole. They've always been really solid, but now they have the athletes and the size to compete with the best teams in the country, as you've already seen, as we're tied at a set apiece. Another ace. Stanford now with 8 aces against 1 air. Rubin back at the line once again. San Diego's won 27 in a row. Stanford 21. Overpass. Minor will take care of that.
Rubin drives one into the corner. Bennett twice has been targeted here. They've found a spot they like.
They've moved Bennett out of the receive. They're going with Lukes and Benbow, but they still get the ball on Bennett. Good serving and better hitting. You can hear the touch down the street, down El Camino Real, which borders the Stanford campus. Bennett going high hard. Excuse me, not Bennett. That, of course, was Brianna Edwards.
Some really difficult serves put right on Bennett, the freshman, and boy, does she come through that third time, hanging one up there.
Both teams in a good rhythm passing right now. And there's Katie Baird very comfortably going right over the top.
And that's over the top of Froling, by the way, who stands at 6'5". These athletes play the game really high above the net.
Baird, a returning redshirt junior, second-team All-American the last couple of years on the All-Pac-10 team. There was Froling, really good on the right side. This is rotation one. She'll have to hit out on the left. Baird again. And off the edge of the block and out of bounds. Baird's made a nice adjustment because she was off to a slow start. She's now 7 of 23, hitting about 200.
We were saying coming into this one that Kendall Kipp needed a little offensive help, and here come her left side, giving her just that.
Kipp with 15 kills. Baird second with 7. Sammy Francis with 5. Rubin right now 4 of 14, 7-2 run. Velarde on to serve. Tied at a set apiece here at Maples Pavilion, Stanford, California. That ball missed out of bounds. A rare hitting error that time for San Diego and Edwards. 13-9, maybe, yeah, timeout. Yeah, good timeout. Jen Petrie can't wait any longer. Stanford on a run, taking the 13-9 advantage. Here in the third set, tied at 1. The tree is still very, very unique. Make no mistake about that. Stanford on a 7-1 run, taking the 13-9 advantage over San Diego. Adjustments here for the Toreros. A little bit of a pickle right now against Stanford. Nice dig by Velarde, but that was outside the antenna. And a good and much needed side out for the Toreros, again coming in at 30-1, Stanford 27-4, both conference champions respectively.
A couple times now out of the timeout, we've seen San Diego go to their middle attack, which of course is a great option. Seems to give them a one-on-one opportunity, but you have to have the pass to do that. And so credit San Diego for another nice pass.
Yes, Maddie Allen on to serve. Another, what a reception. That's going to be a center line violation. The setter, Cami Minor, when she went in to put the brakes on her right foot, violated the center line. So good timeout called by Jen Petrie. Right out of it, back-to-back points to get back within 2. Baird rolling over the top, Benbow right there in the angle. What a dig by Rubin. Froling right side. One-on-one, but a brilliant block by Baird.
Lukes has blasted some balls that you would fully expect to go for digs, but between Rubin and Ogilvie, they are giving Stanford second and third chances.
Look at these teams pass the ball. In a regional final for an opportunity to go play for a national championship, both of these teams are making it look like it's September. Yes. Really, really cool customers.
Stanford is a elite level serving team. They have challenged Katie Lukes at a really high level, and boy, has she risen to the occasion.
San Diego has been to the national semis 23 times. San Diego, it would be their first.
Trying to become the second non-host school to advance, as now we know Pitt has punched their ticket to Omaha.
And no current Big Ten team will be in the national semifinals for the first time since 2002.
Pitt lined up against Louisville, so we'll have an ACC semifinal match.
That ball left a little inside, Minor all over it.
Another block on Kip.
Yeah, getting hands on Kip. Buccini out of the middle, number 14 in white, heavily bandaged right knee. No report on that there was any difficulty. She got off to a good start offensively, had 3 quick kills, and that was a nice one in trans.
And that's just her 4th kill now. As you mentioned, 3 early. They're going to need her to heat back up.
Stanford leading by 4. Tight pass, look out! Couple of overpasses in this set. One by Bennett, one by Allen. And Jen Petrie, head coach of the Toreros, will have to use her 2nd timeout. It was a 7-1 run, now a 4-1 run by the Cardinal to take their largest lead here in the 3rd set. Once again tied at a set apiece. Stanford won the first 25-19. San Diego came back to take the second 25-22. What a women's college basketball doubleheader we'll have for you tomorrow afternoon. It's Louisville versus Kentucky in our first matchup at 1 Eastern time on ESPN. Then at 3 over on ABC, number 6 UConn faces Diamond Miller. And number 20 Maryland should be another great afternoon of hoops on ESPN, and of course the ESPN app. The Cardinals, that is the Louisville Cardinals, have won the last 5 against the Kentucky Wildcats on the hardwood. I guess this is hardwood, although it's plastic covered. Back with Missy Whittemore. I'm Paul Sunderland, enjoying certainly this regional. Once again, congratulations to Louisville surviving over Oregon 3-2. How big was Anna DeBeer? Looked like she had re-injured her knee late in that match, but she was huge in the 5th set. So Louisville will be going back-to-back to the national semifinals, as will be their ACC mates, the Pitt Panthers. We know Texas on this side of the draw will be into the national semis for the 16th time overall and the 10th under head coach Jared Elliott. Coming out of the timeout, Baird back at the line. We'll give you her numbers: 7 kills on 25 swings. Couple of blocks, 3 digs, and she does have a service ace. Stanford, 7 aces, 1 error, and for San Diego, 1 ace, 2 errors.
As the serving game has gone, so has gone this match.
Exactly right. Good point. Ball still alive, but out of bounds. Good choice that time by Froling. Having another really nice match, hitting well over 300 in the tournament. That's 13 kills on 27 swings now for number 11 in blue as she goes back to the line.
Felt like a predetermined tip shot by Froling, but she still had to execute it perfectly against the Stanford defense to get it to fall.
She's 6'5" and looking to eye. Look at Rubin, the freshman, come back with a pass. Benbow making a long run. What good location on the off speed from Kendall Kip.
When you play at that height and you can go up and over the block, your defenders have got to be deep in the court. And so she finds that spot just over the top, and Benbow still nearly makes a play on it. 16
kills now, leading all attackers in the match is Kendall Kip at 367 in terms of efficiency. Blocked again. That's the 2nd time that Kendall Kip has gotten Katie Lukes here in this 3rd set.
Going ahead and bringing Edwards back into the match. A rotation early, and that gives San Diego some offense here out of the back row.
Pass first. Difficult to do. Ogilvie is very good. Nice job by Benbow. And another roof. This time by Rubin, and Stanford is running away with the 3rd set.
This ball may have traveled out of bounds off the block, but Stoner just couldn't get out of the way quick enough. That's another one of these fast, flat balls from Gabby Blossom behind. You hit it that fast, it's right back on you.
Stanford, the number 1 blocking team in the Pac-12 at 2.7 per set. Lukes with a tough swing. Benbow, the libero, only 5'3". That was a tough chance off the top of the tape, sprawling, stabbed, and once again, Gabby Blossom going to the outside.
I said earlier, I thought the Torero was being really aggressive at a system, and that time I thought Rubin put a little extra something on her swing. Kills aren't coming easily. These teams are having to.
Kylie Priest coming on now, replacing Lukes momentarily. She'll be back into pass. Kip again. Kendall Kip.
Cami Minor well off the net, and you see the delivery right into the window where Kendall Kip is able to take a really comfortable swing at that and make it 17 kills now.
Good serve. Most dangerous server on the roster, says Kevin Hambley, and Kendall Kip is being pursued by professional clubs all over the world, but she is already committed to Coach Hambley. Not only she, but the entire starting Stanford lineup is coming back next year. Is that good news or bad news?
Depends on who you're rooting for. I'm not surprised to see this team return, because if there's any team that lost a year to COVID, I feel like it's Stanford. I think these players want that experience.
Edwards with a really good high flat swing, but just could not find the micro touch. 9-2 now is the run. Yeah, Stanford called off their season after 10 matches in 2020, and then last year they were eliminated in the second round by Minnesota. She's human. Well, we know she's human, but she's just that good. If you weren't with us on Thursday night for the regional semifinals, Olympic team head coach Karch Kirai was here, and he was watching very intently at a couple of players, and at the top of the list was Kendall Kip, I'm sure. 2 points away from taking the lead, 2-1. Good pass again. That's a tough miscue. Little miscommunication between Lukes that time and her back row mate Alex Hoagland, and now it'll be set points for Aaliyah Rubin, number 13 in white, the freshman out of Southern California, Brentwood specifically. 5 of 16 so far in the night. She already has a couple of aces and really plays good defense. One-on-one, Baird over the top, dug by Lukes. Fantastic swing by Edwards. And San Diego continues to scrap.
On both sides of the net, there have been several one-on-one opportunities tonight that you expect to go for kills, because these are big-time attackers, and yet the defenders just stepping into those holes and playing balls up.
Tough serve. Smart shot up into the block, recycle the point. Not that time. Layla Blackwell turning out the lights. Beautiful move and drop into the cross court.
Strong left hand by Layla Blackwell. She didn't have to go far, and so that was all about good hand placement.
Still another set point. This is good for San Diego. Really good for San Diego. Still, it would take a miracle for them to come back and win this set, but they're getting a little momentum. They've got a little energy going.
Yeah, sure
into the fourth set.
Sure will feel a lot better to walk off the court here after a couple big blocks, after quieting this crowd a little.
4-1 run. Overpass. Tough chance for Edwards. Oh, a beautiful roll shot. That was not a good set. Annie Benbow would love to have that one back. But from the 3-meter line, Brianna Edwards just dialing and slicing and getting the ball down past Stanford.
Plays it above her head. The big rip there. Another free ball opportunity. And look at that, the nice high arm from Edwards. rolls this one right over the Stanford block.
You remember Houston on Thursday night had a lot of success rolling and tipping and going off speed against Stanford. Kevin Hambley gave them a lot of credit for their game plan, and Stanford had to make an adjustment, really move their defenders up, and that kind of turned the match around. Stanford ended up winning it 3-0. Whereas San Diego was taking out a very good team from Kentucky. How good? They were the SEC co-champions with Florida 3-0 and dominated that match.
Yeah, San Diego showed up to play on Thursday night. A team who came to their regional semifinal for the 5th time in the history of the program and had never advanced beyond that round, and you would not have known that. They played with such composure. This is a veteran team.
So this will be set point number 5 for Stanford, and 6'5" senior Grace Froling, counterpart to Kendall Kipp, having a very, very good tournament.
13 kills right now, hitting 296. You know, she's a matchup problem from the left pin or the right pin, and puts up a huge block at the net as well. But swinging high, swinging hard, and doing it in system and out of system. I think that's really good news for the Toreros.
And getting a lot of help. 4 Toreros now in double figures kills. For the Cardinal, it's only Kendall Kipp, and after that, the next in line is Katie Baird with 7, but it's taken her 28 swings to get there. 5th set point for Stanford. On the pipe. There was a reason I didn't ask you where Stanford should go, because everybody in the building, everybody in white, everybody in blue knew exactly number 10 was going to get the ball. Her 18th kill, Stanford, 1 set win away from going back to the national semifinals. Let's take a look at some regional final storylines. Oregon had a match point in the 4th. Anna DeBeer with a double-double, avoided re-injuring her knee. And Louisville will advance. Texas, a season high, 16 blocks. But when you look at Texas, Emma Halter, Zoe Fleck in the back row. Logan Eggleston is always there like Kendall Kipp is. And Pitt, yep, they stunned number 1 seed Wisconsin 3-2, 15-13 in the 5th. Courtney Bizzario leads the way offensively. How big an upset is that, Pittsburgh over Wisconsin? No Big Ten team, no current Big Ten team in the national semifinals for the first time in 18 years.
I think they used the right word on the graphic, stuns. I think it's stunning. Pitt without Juliana Dalton for most of really this postseason. I know she got in the match today, but I don't think she's at full strength.
And another note on that match, we were following it. Pitt was up 19-12 in the first set. Gave up that lead. Wisconsin came back and won, so all credit to the Panthers. Fighting off that disappointment, if you will, and coming all the way back at Wisconsin. Unbelievable atmosphere, and going back-to-back to the national semifinals. That off the block and out of bounds.
I think the start here for San Diego is so important.
Well, we always talk about adjustments in one thing and another, but it just seemed like Stanford, and particularly Kendall Kipp, got a little more help from Baird, and Stanford is playing some superb defense. Rubin and Cami Minor are just digging everything, so that ball missed out of bounds. And here we go again. It was 3-1, 3-1, but then Stanford goes on these big runs. Is that the key for San Diego? They cannot give up big runs. They gave up a 7-1 and a 9-2 run in that 3rd set.
Absolutely.
So just underway here in the 4th. San Diego, the champions, undefeated champions of the West Coast Conference. The number 2 seed in the Stanford section of the bracket. Stanford, the number 1 seed, a 9-time national champion, looking to get back to the national semifinals for the 24th time. They won the Pac-12 championship with a 19-1 record. They've won 21 in a row. San Diego has won 27 in a row. Both of these teams lost in the non-conference. Nice play out of the middle once again to Layla. Blackwell has really been a revelation offensively, and Gabby Blossom, along with Cami Minor, along with so many others around the country, are just putting on a tremendous performance at the setting position.
The Blossom to Blackwell connection is nearly a 0 tempo. It is so fast. Blackwell is literally off the floor before that ball leaves Blossom's hands.
Out of system. Blossom all over that. Now you need to set the ball well. Another very controlled contact.
Nice Nice deflection by Froling.
What a dig! Ogilvy. Good read in the backcourt by Allen, number 19. Kip playing some defense. And finally blocked. Really, really high-level play by both teams. Point won by San Diego.
Layla Blackwell worked really hard throughout that entire rally, and she finishes it. There she is, 7 in blue with that block. Katie Baird took something off of it, thinking maybe she could reset that point, but it came off the block so softly, they couldn't pick it up.
Baird again. Recycles, throwing the ball up into the block for the 3rd time.
Another deflection by Froling.
That's a bad set. Deflection off the block, super smart shot that time by Lukes. Blossom back in control and doesn't make the play. That's a break for Stanford.
And boy, it just got quiet in here. 2 long rallies and people are on the edge of their seat just waiting to see what's going to happen.
Disconnection there. That's the first time that's happened to Gabby Blossom probably the whole season. 2-point switch though, when you think about it, could be 5-1.
Right.
Lukes. Boy, she likes to play fast to the pin.
No miss there from Gabby Blossom, and that's a difficult set. She's fading into right back when she sets this ball, and the push, the strength of Gabby Blossom's hands as she pushes it to the left side.
Well, and what's so good about Blossom and Cami Minor is she changes tempo depending on who the hitter is. Edwards needs much more air underneath, as does Froling.
Yeah, all their hitters go at different speeds, and this is Gabby Blossom's first year at San Diego, remember?
Kip now with 19 kills, hitting over 420. Gabby Blossom having a very friendly visit with the first referee, Michelle Prater. She's being assisted by Paula Martin. Haven't even noticed them, which means they've done a good job.
I agree.
5-3. Baird to serve. Stanford has probably the most aggressive serving philosophy. Their head coach, Kevin Hambly, just does not care if they miss. And they spent, we were at practice on Wednesday, we were at practice yesterday. They go through a serving section of their practice 3, 4, 5 times each and every session.
Yeah, serving from each end with no passers before they even put passers on the floor. I mean, it's a lot of time service line, I can tell you that.
Nice play by Benbow. First contact. Ogilvy set the ball a little tight. That's a bad set by one of the best liberos in the country, number 9 in the all black. Missed that one looking for Kip. Into the antenna, unforced error. You know who's got a good serve? Grace Froling. High contact point, very clean, flat and clean.
I think there was a day where you didn't see some of the taller players serving, and now what so many coaches have realized is that high contact point creates all kinds of problems.
Katie Lukes hits every ball as hard as she possibly can.
She will challenge the seam of any block, let me tell you.
Grace Froling serving clean, and Katie Lukes taking care of everything else. Led by Grace Froling, barely, but look at this balance for San Diego. Not at all the same for the Cardinal of Stanford.
That balance is the reason that Gabby Blossom has the Toreros hitting 444 in this 4th set.
And San Diego is out hitting Stanford on the night right now, 286 to 261. High flat, nice stretch, good dig by Allen. Lukes, did she get a touch? No touch detected, and we won't have a challenge.
A missed hit from Lukes because that did not come off of her hand at the speed we're used to seeing. She has taken 33 of the hardest swings you will see in your life. That was her 34th.
Well, Kendall Kipp has 19 kills on 36 swings. Katie Baird has 7 kills on 35 swings. And again, and away from Ogilvy, Katie Lukes. What a tremendous match she had on Thursday. So much reception pressure. Now with 13 kills on 36 swings.
If you're going to run the offense that fast to Katie Lukes, there's absolutely no room for error. It just speaks so highly of the accuracy of Gabby Balls.
Stanford served Lukes early. They're not serving her now. Francis, haven't heard from her in a while, off the top of the tape and down. Sammy Francis, 6'6" sophomore out of San Diego, missed 12 matches, an undisclosed non-athletic related issue, and now just back in the lineup. She had not touched a volleyball since October 23rd until Wednesday. Her activity was very limited, I would say. Francis on the slide. What a block. Brianna Edwards, number 14 in blue, going up against Francis.
And Paul, you just mentioned moments ago the fact that she has not played much. Just played on Thursday for the first time in a while, and this is a timing issue. She's a little too early on the slide there. The connection just not there with Minor.
12 blocks for Stanford, 10 for San Diego. Rubin, man, she has got a rocket as well.
Kipp gets a lot of the headlines, and rightfully so, but boy, Rubin and really Katie Baird, who, as you mentioned, doesn't quite have the offensive numbers tonight that she might hope for. They do a lot for this Stanford Cardinal, and the number of balls that they pass, the defense they play, big part of the puzzle.
Good set. Really, really good set by Benbow. What's a good set in transition or when you're out of system that far off the net?
Yeah, I think Benbow calling everybody off is the first thing. It's very clean. She takes control of it. And then you just want to put it up somewhere high where Edwards has the ability to take that last close step and go up high and get it. That one was inside a little, but she still could take a close step and play it up high.
Benbow again with a dig, and Lukes missed it out of bounds. San Diego leading 11-7. Stanford leading 2-1. San Diego got out to a quick start, 8-3, forced a timeout. There's Bilardi. Rolling again, going right side, good block deflection. Baird, that's a beautiful shot. Deep cross-court corner, wonderful location work by number 22 in white.
Blackwell having to hold, not sure what Cami Minor is going to do there. Notice how Cami Minor loads and makes it look like she might go up and take the ball over herself. Just enough trickery there to hold the middle blocker.
Another good block deflection by Vicini. Benbow has really upped her game, making some wonderful contacts. Look at that set.
Another deflection off that block.
Froling finally high flat, number 11. Really good play on both sides.
You know, it's one thing to get the block deflection, but your defense has to be ready to turn and make the play off of that. It's a very specific move, and interestingly, I saw San Diego talk about that in practice this week, talking about turning to make the play off of the block deflection.
Both of these teams, their setters are so good setting long range.
Yes.
Spinning balls off of tough digs. Really good passing right now. Baird hitting high flat off the top that time of 6'5" Froling. So Katie Baird picking up her offense a little bit right when Stanford needs it. Now 9 kills on 39 swings. Stanford hitting .262 on the night. San Diego .266. Lukes again. Ogilvy standing right into the firing line. The dig and the kill. Elena Ogilvy.
set, the push, the elite swing, the dig, it was all good. It was all good, and San Diego chose to let it fall. They thought it was going to be out of bounds.
No fist pump, no celebration, no nothing for Ogilvie. Let's just go back to work.
Oh, Gabby Blossom holds her back there.
That ball tucked through by Lukes. Got to keep an eye on Gabby Blossom. That was a really hard effort after that ball. The graduate transfer out of Penn State, originally from St. Louis. Inadvertently took a knee to the back of the head. Defensive specialist Maddie Allen working there as well.
And with all the commotion, I think San Diego checking to make sure they've sent the right server back to the line. They were out of rotation there.
And you can go to the scorer's table and just ask for confirmation.
Yeah.
Here's Benbow doing a really nice job defensively. We'll give you the digging numbers when we've got a moment. Ogilvie has been brilliant as always. The definition of a brilliant attacker, Kendall Kipp now with 20.
Guess who's back in the front row, in case you forgot.
Ogilvie has 16 digs for Stanford, 15 for Annie Benbow. A real even battle there as well. 13-11, must-win situation for San Diego. Tough swing for Lukes. Ogilvie again. I say great 3 times a year. Other than that, it's overusing the term. What a set by Cami Minor. Look at this. Tracking it down. Look at that.
Lukes took a really aggressive out-of-system swing, and Rubin matched it. She came right back with a huge rip of her own in an out-of-system situation.
13-12. Froling again. Just in. Really good shot. One assistant coach, Mike Johnson, formerly the head coach at Notre Dame, is now an assistant here at Stanford. Kevin Hambley asked, and Coach Johnson said it was out, but Coach Hambley not going to go to the challenge card. There is Mike Johnson. He's on the staff at Washington as well with Jim McLaughlin. Good save. San Diego's got to have the free ball. Lukes asking for it, and did she get a piece? The first referee pointed to San Diego, and now we're going to have a challenge. The challenge is that the ball never cleared and did not contact the Stanford block. So if memory serves, that's the first challenge of the night.
And San Diego, as you said, as the play was live, got to have it. It's a free ball. And I think they felt that pressure, had to have it. They may have tried to go a little too fast, if there's such a thing for San Diego. I'm not sure if this one clears or not.
Man, there is so much bouncing around.
Right. Because the ball obviously hits the net. The question is, does it then hit the Stanford block? But as you said, so much bouncing around that you have to wonder if the call will just stand. Because if there's not video evidence to confirm it or overturn it, then the call would just stand.
The ball did change direction. It did move to the sideline, which kind of indicates some contact. But the ball, that's very tough call. Very tough call. And a very, very important call. Remember, the initial ruling by the first referee, Michelle Prater, was that it was San Diego's point, and that's what's reflected on the scoreboard right now, 15-12. Stanford won the opening set. Here's the decision. There it is. It's a touch. And so now Stanford has one challenge remaining unless we go to a 5th set, and then they'll get an additional. Stanford won the opening set 25-19. San Diego came back, took the second 25-22, and then 25-19 again for the Stanford Cardinal. Good server at the line now with Froling. Stanford's out of system a lot when Froling, number 11, is serving. Once again, gotta have it. What a dig. Baird with a magnificent save, and the ball is on the sideline. All of the San Diego subs were right on that sideline saying, no way that ball's out of bounds. We're going to have a challenge. The first referee
is going to overturn it, and Petrie won't even have to use her challenge card.
The first referee overruled the linesman and called the ball out of bounds. (16-12) is the score. They've just now changed the score in the building. There's a net violation. You can see the net bouncing around. Kendall Kipp is having a magnificent match. I'll tell you what, though, that she's having to work very, very hard and be very thoughtful in her attacks against this San Diego block.
Yeah, kills are not coming easy, and I'll tell you what, they got her in a situation there where she's tipping the ball, and Gabby Blossom was easily able to make a play on it. So an unfortunate net violation by San Diego when you force Kendall Kipp into a tip situation.
Coming to Rubin, no, back to Kipp. Luke's asking for it so fast. That is some radically fast pin work to the outside.
And interestingly, it's in those free ball situations that they're not executing. It's as if they know the window is there and they're just pushing a little too hard.
The margin for error is negligible. 16-14. That was a big miss. I guess they're all big. Rubin, no, back to Kipp again. Kendall Kipp with kill number 22. Timeout, San Diego.
A less aggressive swing in transition, trying to give their defense a chance, but no defense for the Kendall Kipp rip. And all of a sudden, Stanford is within one.
Stanford's hitting only 161 here in the fourth set. San Diego hitting 219. What a battle. We said it right before first serve. This used to frame up as a mismatch. Not against this year's San Diego team. Stanford blocking tonight. San Diego blocking has been a huge story. How about for Texas? That's why they're in the national semis. Again, Asia O'Neal was brilliant. 12 blocks so far on the night.
Stanford's 12, and everyone getting in on the action. As you look down the stat sheet, the left sides have been solid. Rubin and Baird, and then of course Kendall Kipp at that right end. We talk so much about her offense, but how about her defense lining up against the opponent's left side attacker? That is a wall to contend with.
You know, we've mentioned the setting time and time again, and why not? It's, you know, it's the player that touches the ball the most, but Hannah Pukas and Raquel Latharo between Oregon and Louisville, a real battle there. And then in Texas, you had Mac Pedraza, the setter of the year in the Big Ten, taking on Sage Aina Torres. I mean, just tremendous setting so far in the tournament. Not a surprise. Not a surprise.
Yeah.
And especially when Stanford really needs it. I mentioned that Cami Minor is going to play in the Olympic Games. In my opinion, so will Kendall Kipp, and maybe Elena Ogilvie as well. And maybe Katie Lukes.
Yeah.
Francis with a really good block deflection, and back to Kipp again.
We talked about this match featuring two of the elite right sides in the country. Right now, Kipp in the front row for Stanford and Froling not on the floor for San Diego. And in some of those free ball situations, which there have been 3 that come to mind as of recent in this Stanford run, that San Diego was not able to capitalize on. They're missing a little offense, but not that time. What great footwork by Katie Luke. This is not her normal set. This is not the fast ball to the pin. She has to come inside to get this one. Look at the back set from the back row from Gabby Blossom. Katie Luke has to come get that one.
You know what stuns me about Luke's? There are players who can play fast and players who need to play slow. She can play super fast, and she can also play slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Tight on the overpass. That's a good serve and a really smart substitution. Luke's on the sideline, replaced by Kylie Priest to do exactly that. Come in and serve tough. Remember, Stanford leads 2-1. Must have for San Diego. And that ball drifts just out of bounds. San Diego playing in their first ever regional final. This is their 5th try and have never been to the national semifinals. Stanford looking to get back for the 24th time. They're the all-time leader in total wins with 9, most recently in 18 and 19. Penn State is second with 7. Nebraska has 5. Now Stanford must have equal opportunity on the free ball. Leah Rubin. Man, she's got a live arm.
Setters in the front row. So these balls tight to the net are forcing San Diego to have to defend Cami Minor first. When the blockers jump with Minor and she sends that ball to the outside, it creates a huge hole that Rubin takes full advantage of.
Leah Rubin, the 6'1" freshman, once again the California Gatorade Player of the Year out of Brentwood, California. 3.2 kills per set. Speaking of another freshman in the Pac-12, how about Mimi Collier? What a tournament she had.
Yeah, those two freshmen in the same conference.
Brooke Nunneviller's magnificent career comes to an end. One play away. Good block touch by Minor. It just sounds different.
You know, they got the most out of Kip's last trip across the front row, but they're not going to stop there. They're double dipping. They're going to get it to her in the back row as well.
First lead for Stanford in the set. Look at that dig.
The dig from Ogilvie sets it up perfectly again, completely in system off of that dig. Blossom drifting off the net. Ogilvie, perfect dig right on top of the setter. And what's it create? A huge hole in the block. And did we mention moments ago Stanford has a pretty good freshman by the name of Rubin?
Elena Ogilvie out of Hawaii, now on the night with 21 digs. And what's amazing is she's taking some of these shots and she digs the ball to the 3-meter line or even better. Just so composed. She actually slapped 5 with one of her teammates after that dig. It's the most excited I've seen her in her career. Just incredibly composed. Play the game soft. If you're over on the San Diego side, you know, their conversation all year, nobody believes in us but us. Well, now that's going to be tested right now. It's loud in here. Assume a good pass. Where does San Diego go?
I think the good pass here goes to Edwards. I feel like the last couple sets out to Edwards were more of the Luke's type tempo. I think she can put a little more air under the ball to Edwards and let her take a high swing at it.
Ball off the edge of the block. You made a really good point, Missy. I think that's set. I know they've only been together for a year, and Gabby Blossom went to San Diego from Penn State last January, but I think she needs a little more air. That was a huge, much-needed side-out swing by Edwards.
And that time, Gabby Blossom doing everything she could just to get it to the left side. Pass wasn't great, but a nice drive by Edwards, turning it down the line. Cami Minor, the smaller blocker there in right front.
Hoagland on to serve. Right down the middle, too easy. Rubin again off speed. Baird and Rubin have both picked up their offense as this match has gone along.
This Rubin off speed is so smart because Hoagland just checked into the match to serve. Coming into the court after her serve, thinking defense. And Rubin challenges her to come pick that tip up.
21-19. Nice swing. Forget what I said.
Yeah.
They just want to play at warp speed.
Yeah, completely agree. Gabby Blossom knows what she's doing, and Edwards very capable of going fast.
Francis and Baird up front, and of course Kendall Kipp out of the back row. Kipp now with 24 kills, matching her career high. Francis, the ball was in the plane. It's nice to have your 6'6" middle blocker back and available.
And after the pickup there from Brianna Edwards, I think that Froling and Blackwell just lost track of the ball. I think they could have made a play on that.
You gotta keep that off speed. You gotta keep this ball, you gotta keep that off the net. Froling, tough swing, well off the net. Off speed, and she gets it to fall. Really, really smart shot by number 11 in blue. Froling now with 17 kills.
High roll right over the top. This is a tremendous rotation for San Diego. If they can put some points together, they've got Blackwell, Lukes, and Froling across the front.
Maddie Allen back to serve. Be stunned if this ball, oh, with that pass, we'll see. Baird going high line and missed it wide, and we're tied. Tied at 22. Where's this ball? Where's this set going?
I'm going straight down the middle to Kendall Kipp.
Absolutely. Either in the D zone in the right back or on the pipe right up the middle.
How many blockers does San Diego put up against that set?
7.
Let's see.
7. No, going in system over the top. What a clutch swing by Baird. She's really good at going deep cross court.
And when you can go deep cross court over the top of a block like this, that'll score you some points pretty often.
2 points away. Missed it out of bounds. A huge break for San Diego. Stanford had everything that they wanted. Good dig, your libero stepping in, good set, and a rare mistake by a star. Chance for the lead. Got it!
The block deflection on the first swing from Kipp, it's the difference in that rally right there. Allowed San Diego to transition and get that swing to Froling on the right side. And realize that was Froling going against Kipp right there. That was a battle taking place right in front of us.
Set point number 1 for San Diego.
Great push by Cami Minor. Look at the touch there by Stoner. That's what keeps this ball alive. And then Froling lined up right across the net from Kendall Kipp. The footwork, the wrist away, thumb down. She finds the corner.
And Ogilvie was there. That ball had to be over her shoulder and deep in order to score that point for San Diego. Froling was 17. Edwards was 16. Lukes was 16. Layla Blackwell, the middle, with 12. On the other side, Kipp leading the way with 24, matching her career high. Rubin with 10. Katie Baird with 10, but 42 swings to get there. Set point number 1 for San Diego. Rotation number 1, the only time Kendall Kipp hits on the left side. What do you think is going through the mind right now of Cami Minor, assuming a good pass?
You know, I think a really good pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Vicini and try to get a one-on-one opportunity.
Thinking the same thing. Libero Annie Benbow back to serve. 24 aces coming in. Set point to send it to a 5th set. There's your perfect pass. Going out to Kipp, block touch again. San Diego joust coming, Froling. Lukes off the block and out of bounds, and we're going 5.
Maddie Allen had her fingerprints all over that rally in middle back. Kudos to the defensive specialist.
I'll go back to what we said before first serve. This is no stinking mismatch. We're going 5. Back live in Stanford, California. What a comeback by the San Diego Toreros. Believe in us. And they certainly did. Down 23-21. They came back to take it 25-23. Both out of the ACC. There'll be an ACC team in the national championship match for the first time ever. Louisville and Pitt will square off for the 3rd time they split their 2 meetings. Texas, the #1 overall seed, will take on the winner of this one. 15-point tiebreaker to be decided. And you called it right. What defense in the backcourt by San Diego.
Yeah, watch this rally. Maddie Allen with the jab save. I didn't mention Gabby Blossom. How about that save out of the backcourt by Gabby Blossom? But the defense isn't done yet. Maddie Allen again. And here's the push by Gabby Blossom. If you're going to swing low, you better swing hard. And that's one thing that Luke's is good at. There it is, rattles it through.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but Katie Lukes is good at a lot of things. And number 11, Grace Froling, really made that play, I think, because there was a tight play. It was a joust. It was against Kendall Kipp. She got to that ball. 2 6'5" athletes going eye to eye, and she made Ogilvie make a really tough dig.
Right.
That had a lot going for it. 15-point tiebreaker. Both teams have their now full allotment of 2 challenges. They'll have 2 timeouts. If needed, teams will change sides when one reaches 8. Our 3rd 5-set match of the day.
3rd regional final to go to 5 sets. And in case you're wondering, in 5-setters, San Diego just happens to be a perfect 4-0. Stanford 3-1. So both of these teams feeling pretty confident.
Blossom still rubbing her neck a little bit, going back to serve first. Benbow has been really good. Froling is blocked straight down.
Interesting here in that San Diego hangs Grace Froling inside, and that's by design. She approached inside there, and Katie Baird read that beautifully, was all over that.
You just tip your cap if you're Froling. That was a magnificent block move by Baird, one-on-one. Look at that, Froling again.
And Gabby Blossom, who obviously has such a great feel for the game, right back to Froling. Give her another opportunity.
San Diego at 30-1. Both of these teams conference champions. Stanford, the #1 seed in their section of the draw, 27-4 overall, 9 times a national champion. San Diego has never been to a national semifinal. Stanford looking to get to their 24th. Perfect dig.
Blossom creating tempo.
That was shanked. A long run by Rubin. Ogilvie went hard underneath one of the tables near the court in a magnificent effort. Nothing phases this athlete. Nothing. Wonderful effort.
Look at this effort, all out. Oh. And you heard that here in the gym. You heard that.
There's Kate Georgiadis of Houston became a internet sensation, landing on the table in their first-round match for Houston at Creighton.
I know she's got a lot of adrenaline right now, but she's going to feel that one. Ouch.
They got tomorrow off.
Ooh.
Ball just out of bounds. Good eye by Baird. So far on the night, the Diggers, Annie Benbow with 17. Elena Ogilvie with 21. And that ball will drift out of bounds. Back-to-back service errors.
Something that really hasn't impacted this match much.
Not at all.
Nope. Very interesting.
Both teams have served exceptionally well.
And as we move into a fifth set, Paul, you can't help but think about, there was obviously some controversy about who would be the higher seed in this region. And some people thought San Diego deserved it. Stanford with this home court advantage now in set 5.
Kip a little bit off-timed. And a swing and a miss. Pressure now on Stanford. You're exactly right. I voiced my opinion. I did it last week during the fifth set when I was back at ESPN. I thought that San Diego deserved the #1 seed in this section and the right to play this match at home. And this is the rotation. Annie Benbow serving, along with Maddie Allen in the back court when they won that spectacular set point.
3 pretty good defenders. Wow, you don't see that. A football violation.
Wow.
You just never see that.
Oh, clear. Yeah, good work by the official. That's the 3rd one I've seen in my life in the women's game. I'm kidding. Boy, Stanford not doing a good job with, smart shot up into the block to restart the point. And then Rubin, who's really raised her level offensively, number 13 in white, ripping the ball off the top of the block.
Into the block by Kip, reset the point. Another beautiful ball from Candy Miner, who gives her hitters something to look at every time. Something good to look at.
Rubin now with 11 kills, 9 digs, 4 blocks. Tied at 4. Passing breaking down here for San Diego. Out of system against this Stanford block is not a lot of fun.
What can San Diego do to get a little different look passing here? No change.
They're working on Maddie Allen right now. She's really in the center back. 3-0 run for Baird and Stanford. And going at her again. Pretty good response. Hard swing for Lukes and finds a small seam. Wow, sometimes it's your night.
The San Diego team, though, you know, I said it earlier. Coach Petrie said, who can be braver out of system? And boy, have the Toreros been very brave in some of their out-of-system looks.
Stanford's passing the ball really well right now. What a cover by Ogilvie. And missed out of bounds. Good blocking, turning the tables for the Toreros.
Lukes and Stoner, side by side, have done a really good job blocking Kendall Kipp.
Boccini, as you pointed out, might get a look here on a good pass, and Stanford is up their first. Look at that serve! I mentioned it in the previous set. Grace Froling has really got it going clean. Clean and flat.
6'5", gets on top of it. And boy, that ball just drops in front of the passers.
Tough swing for Rubin. What a smart turn. Off the outside blocker. Brilliant attacking the second time through.
Here comes Sammy Francis into the front row for Stanford. And Coach Hambley has Some words for her on her way in, some very specific coaching here.
Two-hitter rotation, that is in the front court.
Bennett nails the pass.
Good hustle by Kip, probably should have been called a lift. Great work on the pass and a courageous set that time. Change sides, San Diego, why not us, leading Stanford by 2. Only one more piece of the puzzle to fill out the national semifinal bracket for next week in Omaha. Louisville and Pitt will play for the 3rd time. As I mentioned, they split their 2 meetings, both winning at home. Texas waiting in the wings. Will it be either Stanford or San Diego? Back with Missy Whittemore. I'm Paul Sunderland. San Diego leading 8-6 on the side change. And once again, Kylie Priest on the floor. She served up an ace on the floor for Katie Lukes in the 4th set. Kendall Kipp with 24 kills, Rubin with 12, Baird with 10. Kipp is roofed.
Nice serve by Priest to set this up. Stoner, who's so good laterally, look, drops, gets there, but that's Edwards turning that left hand back in bounds.
Good pass, good set, good attack, just a better block. You know where the ball's going to go, but that doesn't mean you can do a darn thing about it when you're dealing with Kendall Kipp. But Edwards with a stuffed timeout called by Stanford. What's the conversation? How much more pressure is on Stanford? They did get the seed. They're playing at home. They're back deep into the tournament where they are seemingly every year.
And I think it's interesting, you know, Stanford lost at home this year to Texas and at home to Louisville. So, you know, all of a sudden you start to remember that. You know, they haven't been perfect here, but, and as you mentioned, they also have that pressure of being the higher seed.
Big play coming up in this match. There have been so many already for the last 2+ hours. It's been, what a day of volleyball. Starting in Louisville, then in Wisconsin. What a performance by the Pitt Panthers to advance on their side, and Ohio State and Texas. Logan Eggleston leading the way. Asia O'Neal was absolutely wonderful. Good from the service line as well. Emma Halter, Zoe Fleck, Sage Kaina Torres. I don't think I've forgotten anybody. I probably have, so apologies in advance. Priest now coming out of the timeout. Biggest lead of the set so far for San Diego. Kipp on the right side, Rubin on the left. Has Stanford gone away from the middle too much? They've been passing well.
And speaking of passing, you go back to set 1, and San Diego was shaky, to be honest, but boy, have they turned it around.
Down the line, Rubin registers the kill.
Rubin, the freshman with no fear. Wow.
That felt like a must-have side-out score for Stanford. Kipp back at the line. Kevin Hambley, her head coach, says she is the most dangerous server among many. Off speed and blocked. A rare poor set from Gabby Blossom. She'd like to have that one back. That was about 9 feet off the net.
Yeah, Edwards mad as soon as she rolls that one, knowing Sammy Francis was right in front of her.
Timeout called by San Diego. Kipp now with 6 blocks, 3 digs. Ogilvie with 21 digs. On the night, San Diego hitting 274, Stanford 271. 54 digs for San Diego, 51 digs for Stanford. It has been that kind of very even match all night long.
In this set alone, this 5th set, Stanford only hitting 091, San Diego only hitting 125. So it's tight right now.
San Diego led 9-6, back-to-back points. Now the shoe's on the other foot in terms of Rubin got Stanford a must-have side out. Now it's Jen Petrie and the San Diego Toreros. Rubin on the night, 13 kills, hit 323 after a pretty slow start. Third, fourth, and fifth sets, number 13 in white, has been spectacular.
Both of these teams score a lot of points on their own. 63 kills for Stanford, 68 for Stanford so far. And the setting has lived up to all we expected.
Not only here tonight, but all over the country.
Yes.
Kip back at the line. We'll see how the San Diego receivers respond. Bennett in the middle of the floor with Benbow and Lukes.
I expect him to go right at Bennett.
Pretty easy serve. Bennett handles it nicely. Oh, and another roof. Whatever the message was from Kevin Hambly to Sammy Francis, message received. 3-0 run for Stanford.
Haven't noticed Francis a whole lot tonight, but boy, a couple big moments right here that she's come through.
Tough swing. Kip. What a dig by Benbow.
Wow.
Katie Lukes off the hook. What a saving dig by the libero for San Diego.
Elite swing from Kendall Kip, and look at Benbow, plays it up with control, and the placement from Gabby Blossom, so accurate.
San Diego back on top by 1. Free ball back to the left to Rubin. Oh, another dig. This by Lukes for the 2-point lead. Ball is down. The ball is down. Really good hustle by San Diego to play the whistle. Not that they could hear it, because I certainly couldn't.
So much in that rally, but I think you just one word: effort. Effort.
Alex Hoagland back up center on to serve, 11-9. Kip out of the pipe. Oh, she's roofed! Stanford needs a timeout, and they're going to take one right here. That dig by Annie Benbow set up all of this, what's going on right now. 3-0 run. Put this in perspective. You and I both been covering this sport for a long time. At Stanford, elite team, no question. The whole conversation about who should be the number 1, who should be the number 2. And San Diego has gone toe-to-toe with one of the favorites to reclaim another national title.
Stanford, 9 national championships, more than any program in the country. And I'll tell you what, the home field advantage, the home court advantage feels so big in this sport. And in order to secure one of those number 1 seeds, you can't just play good a part of the season. You have to be good all year. San Diego did everything they could. They said, we're proud of our body of work. It's out of our control. And they've come, and I think they do have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, but they haven't allowed that narrative to overtake them. They've just been really steady.
San Diego led 9-6. Stanford goes on a 3-0 run. It's 9-all. Then another 3-0 run by the Toreros. Take us to the to the Stanford side. Do you go back to Kip again?
I like the way Rubin is swinging. If they can pull the blocker with Sammy Francis coming in hard and get Rubin a look with either one block or at least some space there in the block, I think out of the front row to Rubin here.
Hoagland's been doing a really good job under pressure serving. San Diego is 3 points away from rewriting history. Free ball for the Toreros. Edwards over the top of the block. 2 points away.
Hoagland.
Free ball. Do you go middle? You do!
I honestly wasn't sure on the answer. I said, let's ask Gabby Blossom, and she gave us the answer, yes.
5 match points. Monumental upset because of the circumstance, this being at Stanford. San Diego. Not yet. Free ball. Incredible performance by the San Diego Toreros. Match was played at a super high level, and San Diego beat Stanford on their home floor for their first ever trip to the national semifinals. Just such a tribute to this San Diego team. Nobody believes in us but us. And look at the run they went on, Missy, at the end of that match.
Incredible.
Tied at 9. Stanford did not score another point. Just an unbelievable performance. San Diego will take on the top-seeded Texas Longhorns on Thursday night.
And the defense that we saw from San Diego down the stretch, the digs out of the back row with one-on-one looks for the attacker from Stanford, and they were playing balls up in system. It was incredible. You see the control out of the backcourt from San Diego, the block deflections that they were able to transition behind all night long. Guess what? Pitt is not the only 2 seed to crash the party. Here come the Toreros.
Texas and San Diego will play the first match, followed by the Pitt Panthers and the Louisville Cardinals. What a match, what a tournament, and what a performance, and congratulations to the San Diego Toreros. They're going to the national semifinals for the first time ever, and they did it by beating the Stanford Cardinal on their home floor. For our entire ESPN crew and my partner Missy Whittemore, what a day, what a night. San Diego moving on. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks for watching.